it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio. And today I'm just going to do a wrap up of a little bit of footage that I had of two tags from August. Remember, we had that daily challenge in August, hashtag AJOS Abstract August. And I love abstract, and I wished I would have been able to do more of the prompts. But between COVID and visitors and just everything going crazy around here, I haven't been able to do them. But this is day 20, and well, this one is day 20. The prompt was bark, and I decided to do altered tags for the rest of them because I can do those pretty quickly. So I have a bag of tags that just has stuff on them from different experiments or else leftover paint, whatever. And it's just a bag of them that I should use up because it's silly to have these things like this laying around. So I grabbed one of those, and it had some leftover paint that was purple and red. Don't ask me what I was doing that was purple and red. I have no idea. But I wanted to make a really bright background full of patterns. So I just decided to grab some scraps that I had of gel printing with different textures and things that were in those similar colors of purples, reds, oranges, those type of warmer colors, and glue these down on my tag because the paint on there was just scratched and scraped on there, and it wasn't anything that I felt like I needed to save, but I might as well use the tag. So I tore up some pieces of paper with my straight edge ruler and put them on there. I found ones that had scraping or stamping type patterns on them, and they were from a gel printing session that I did sometime recently. And there's some yellow, some like kind of dull yellow in there as well. I think I was using up some colors that I don't really enjoy that much, and that dull ochre yellow is one of them. So that's probably why it's on there. I don't know. Anyway, that made for a pretty interesting background. I thought I would do a little bit of mark making over the top of this. I wanted it to be really busy, really busy. So I got out, I think I got out Arteza. Yep, Arteza acrylic markers. These are similar to the other ones I use, but they're from the Arteza brand, and they have kind of a fat tip. And I just did, circles, squiggles, X's, just whatever seemed interesting, dots, whatever type of stuff that I might do over the top of that background with the dark purple and the red acrylic markers. Just, adding extra pattern and connecting things together and, adding my own hand to it. Then I even got some yellow out too. So I guess purple, red, and yellow were the colors I was using for this tag. Once that was done, then I wanted to add some splatters, just, a little bit more marks, whatever, until I was happy with the busy, colorful tag. I got out some ink and went around the edges, purple ink, just to fill in those edges. I like to do that. I don't know why. Things boxed in make me happy. It's a thing. So then I'm drawing on the tag, and I'm drawing a dog. I know you can't see it when I drew it in pencil, but then I do switch over to a Posca pen eventually, drawing like a poodle, a fluffy, curly dog, silly dog, and I drew it with pencil first so that I could erase if I put marks where I didn't want them. And then I switched over to a black Posca pen, fine tip, to fill it out so that I could see it a little bit better because it's so hard to see with all that crazy amount of color and pattern. I know you can't see it either. I probably should have sped this up even a little bit faster to get through it because I don't really have anything to say except for that I was drawing. What else can I say about that? I was drawing. So then the next step is to exclude the background. So I picked some white and some Naples yellow acrylic paint and a little paintbrush. And I think I might have added some, no, I didn't. I guess I just added water. And I'm going to take away the background, but not so much that you can't see all that interesting pattern and color. I just want to like kind of make it lighter. So I'm basically glazing over this, although I didn't use any glazing medium. I just mixed it I made the brush wet a little bit so that I would end up with kind of a not an opaque effect. Of course, titanium white and also Naples yellow are both pretty opaque colors. So I do need to make sure that I'm diluting it with a little bit of water on my brush. And then I also have a wet baby wipe, and I'm just doing like a patting motion to kind of also pull back some because I like the pattern showing through. I don't want to get rid of it. I just want to make the dog stand out from the background. So once that was done, then I just scraped the paint on my under paper so that I could use that for collage later. And I don't want to waste paint, you know. And then gave that a good dry to make sure it was super dry before I start anything else. And then I went back in with my Posca pen and fixed the lines if there was places where my lines got a little bit bumped into with the paint. I want them to be nice and crisp and clear. So you can see my doggy, and he's all traced with the black lines. Then the next step, this is supposed to be a curly doggy. It's supposed to have curls, you know, like a poodle. It's supposed to be a standard poodle type, or maybe one of those doodle dogs, you know, because I didn't put the right ears on there to make it a poodle, but I wanted it to be a little bit curly. So I used a white Posca pen and drew in like little curls and squiggly marks around to give you the idea that it was a doodle. I don't know which doodle, but you know, when you make a custom blend of a poodle and something else, then you get, you know, a labradoodle or a golden doodle or a whatever. One of those doodle dogs. Sometimes I overgeneralize like that. My husband and sons are really into airplanes, and whenever we live near an Air Force base, and we get a lot of flyovers, a lot of different types of jets, and I always overgeneralize on the jets, and they you know they're like, oh, that's an A blah 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 jump jet blah whatever. I'm just like, there goes one of those jets. Like, no, I can tell that's a blah 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 plane. So yeah, same thing with dogs, doodle dogs. So then I'm just still touching up the black a little bit, trying to decide what I'm going to do, and I decided to bring in some more color because it all seems to be flat. You know, it needs something still. So I get back out those Arteza pens, which are still on the desk, and I decide to use them to shade around the dog. And I'm blending that with a water brush. These acrylic paint pens, as long as they're wet, it doesn't matter which brand they are, as long as they're still wet, you can blend it out like a watercolor, but then it becomes permanent once it's dry because it's acrylic. So I wanted it to do it with color. I was just trying to go crazy with color and pattern. So I used the red and the purple and the white, or I mean not the white, the red, purple, yellow colors to kind of go around and tint the area around the dog. I decided to make his little patch red. I think the collar's purple, you know, just like that. Just to do that type of stuff. Like you do, right? Like you do. So next, Still just touching up with different markers. I don't know what's next. I think I decided I want to make it a little bit more, the colors in the background a little bit more strong. I'm not sure. What did I do? Oh, I decided to make some stencil marks on there. This stencil has X's on it, so I used some black paint and let the X's become the background a little bit. Adding more pattern. Probably going a little bit crazy with it. Who knows? It's what I wanted to do that day. And then I wrote the word bark. When I said that, my dog Mika was like, huh? What? Someone barking? Then she laid her head back down. Nobody's barking. And then I got a red background with some cardstock to put on the back. I guess I decided to color in a few more things. Still not putting the background on. A lot of times with my altered shipping tags, I will put cardstock backing on them, and that serves two purposes. One is it makes a frame around the tag, which I like the look of that. Sometimes I just put ink around the edges of the tag, but sometimes I really want more of a frame, and so I use a cardstock backing. Also, when I do these altered tags, I make a mess on the back. There's always smeared paint, and I don't know how I make such a mess, but they're never clean on the back when I work on them. See, there's some red paint and some blue paint. I mean, where'd the blue paint even come from? There wasn't even any blue paint on this project. So putting that cardstock on the back covers up all that mess and makes it look more neat when you send it to someone, because I generally send these out in packages to people who I'm sending things to. So, I didn't want it to look ugly. Sometimes I write notes on the back of them. They fit really well in business size envelopes. You can write a little note on the back and send it to a friend or something, and then they can use it as a bookmark or whatever they want to use it for. I generally put fibers on them too, so I'm going to punch a hole in the top through that cardstock that I put on the background and put a few little ribbons in. Looks like I got purple checkers and red, and then I've also got some baker's twine there, and that's a red and white baker's twine. So I guess I put 3 different fibers on this one. Probably tied that one in a little bow. Yep. So I guess I thought I was done, but then I decided I really needed more of a shadow around the edge to make this dog stand out a bit more from the crazy background. So I got out a Stabilo all black pencil and I went around it and blended that with the water brush, and then I think I was done after that. Still trying to make it stand out from my crazy, crazy background. And I only have one photograph of this one because I sent it away already. I think I sent it to Peg in the package I sent her recently with some stencils in it. So, yeah. That was day 20. Bark. From hashtag AJOS Abstract August. There's lots of pretty amazing things out there that you could go watch with Abstract August by using that hashtag. It'll come up with all kinds of things. I did all 30 of them last year, so there'll be all of those, plus pegs, plus other people in the group. If you're in our Art Joy of Sharing Art community group on Facebook, you will see them in the media files in the album that's marked with that hashtag. And you can see everything that everyone posted in the group there and see, different people's ideas from our one-word prompts, and yeah, go and check it out. So this one is day 23, I think. Let me look. Yeah, day 23, soup. That's the last one I did. I didn't get any more of them done. So this tag is another one of the ones from that bag that has stuff on it. Now, I did a what can you do with gesso, like a real basic what is gesso for video. And I will try to find it and put it here in the iCard up in the right hand side that you can see how this tag was made. But I can just tell you it's got rice on it. Dried rice. And it's gesso with a little bit of tint in it. So it was white gesso, and I was showing how you could make all kinds of interesting textures with gesso and how you could add stuff to it and use it as a sort of glue base to put a lot of texture on things. And I was doing them on tags because it was a small demo type piece of paper, but people use these techniques that I did in larger projects. So this has tinted gesso and rice on it, and I decide to use it. This is day 23 soup, and that makes me think of ramen, which is my favorite type of soup. And so I decided, since it had rice on it, which is a very Asian type of food, that I would do a bowl of ramen. So I cut out some black and red to make a bowl. I cut out some black chopsticks just from, leftover paint papers. And then I used some white acrylic ink and drew some noodles falling down from the sky. Because this is abstract, remember, noodles don't float. They don't float out from the bowl like that, but I was having fun with it, and I didn't want to make it too realistic. I just wanted to make it textury and funny and fun. So then I also used some kind of mustard yellowy, ochre colored acrylic ink, and I used a smaller pipette that had a smaller tip in it. You can get those plastic pipettes in all different types of sizes. To continue my falling rain of noodles, and then, kind of add another color to it. And then I think I also used red and olive colored. Let's see, I think I did. I might actually have this one around somewhere. I don't see it though. And we'll find out in a minute. We will, I promise. As soon as I finish drying this. Of course, when you're putting the acrylic ink line on there like that, it's pretty wet. Yeah, here's some olive acrylic ink, and then I think I also used the red, and that was just to add some vegetables to my ramen. A little bit of something green and something red. So basically, I did everything with just a tiny bit of collage and a lot of different colors of acrylic ink, because I think I also added in some like rusty color too. I can't remember. Those are probably little chopped up peppers or something. Oh yeah, there's the rusty color at the bottom to give the soup something to sit on. Sorry. And then I think that was all I did to it. I let it dry, added some white spatter, I think, and then I put it on a red background and added an extra little hang tag from a tea bag and some twine, I think, and that was it. So that was it for soup. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.